7 tips to roasting a Thanksgiving turkey. Number 1 is make sure you give yourself enough time to thaw your turkey. You'll want at least about 24 hours for every 4 pounds. Number 2 is figure out if you want to brine, dry brine, or not brine your bird at all. I've tried all 3 methods and I actually prefer to not brine my turkey at all. I think it tastes great without it. However, I know that's a personal preference, so do whatever you like. Number 3 is make sure you take out the giblets from both ends of the turkey. I've heard horror stories of people not doing that, and I can't imagine. Number 4, do you want to stuff your bird with stuffing or not? I found that I actually prefer to just stuff my bird with flavors that I really like instead of stuffing, and I do that separate. But again, do whatever you prefer. Number 5 is figure out if you want to baste your turkey or not. Again, I've tried both methods with basting and not, and I found that the bird tastes just as good without basting, so I stick to just making it a little bit easier and not. But if you want to baste, you go for it. Number 6 is around temperature. Make sure that you do buy a meat thermometer. It's worth it when you're cooking such a large turkey here. Always make sure to insert it into the thigh and cook it until it reaches 165 degrees. And once you take your bird out, make sure to let it rest for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Number 7 is use the pan drippings to make a gravy. It's worth it, trust me. I think it makes the flavor of the gravy taste that much better, and the perfect time to make it is when the bird is resting.
Here's the Thanksgiving recipe you can make today. Just mix together cranberry, sugar, water, and cinnamon and bake it in the oven at 350 for 1 hour, mixing halfway through. When it's all done cooking, stir in some pecans, and this will last for 3 weeks.
One of the recipes that I'm really good at making is classic Thanksgiving stuffing. I've been making this recipe for years. It always goes viral on my Pinterest and my Instagram page. I've even been asked by the local news to make this on television a couple times. It's that good. The full recipe is linked above the caption with all the measurements and all the ingredients. Just tap that little teal button that says see full recipe. Basically, it's finely minced mushrooms, onions, and celery. And yes, you can leave the mushrooms out if you're not a fan of mushrooms. Crumbled sausage, and all kinds of seasoning and herbs like celery salt, celery seeds, sage, poultry seasoning, lots of black pepper. I cube up French rolls really small to make sure there's enough surface area for this delicious filling to kind of soak into those bread cubes. I add a little bit of butter and kind of let this sit and hang out together. And then I whisk up a cup of milk with 2 eggs to kind of help this all set as it bakes in the oven. It really comes together beautifully. If you're the kind of person that likes to put your stuffing in the bird, this goes great in the bird as well. I love that I can serve this with a crown roast of pork or a roast beef or pork chops or chicken, and especially with that beautiful Thanksgiving turkey. I put it in a 13x9 baking pan that's been greased up with some butter. I add a little bit of butter to the top and some more herbs. Bake it at 375 degrees for about 45 minutes. On the top, you've got those crispy bits. The inside is soft and luscious. Once again, the full recipe is linked above the caption. I hope you give it a try. This is also just a perfect fall meal, so who needs to wait for Thanksgiving?
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and it's officially Thanksgiving week, so this is how you make a foolproof yet delicious turkey, and you don't even need to brine it. The game changer is to make a flavored butter. I love using rosemary, thyme, sage, and parsley, all fresh, and chopping them up together like this, and also a few cloves of minced garlic. We're gonna pour this onto 3 sticks of softened butter, and then add olive oil, salt, and some freshly cracked black pepper. Fresh lemon zest gives it a super citrusy brightness, and then we're gonna use a fork or a masher and just get it all stirred together like this. And just like that, you have your own compound butter. Before doing anything to the turkey, don't forget to take the bag of innards out from inside the turkey and cut off any plastic. Then gently peel the skin off the top of the turkey breast and add in your compound butter underneath, smoothing it inside and then all around your turkey, plus some salt and pepper. And then I'm also putting lemon halves and pieces of onion inside the cavity for some extra flavor. My turkey was about 15 pounds, so I cooked it for about 3 hours at 350 degrees. Here it is. Good luck with your turkeys and happy Thanksgiving.
Let's make the best braised pork and eggs.
This is one of my favorite Khmer dishes growing up. You can have it as a soup or braised. First, blanch and clean your pork into a hot wok. Add your sugar and caramelize it before adding in the coco rico, fish sauce, soy sauce, dark soy sauce, cooking wine, and chicken base. Add in your pork and open your can of crawl eggs. Give it a nice rinse and toss it into the hot wok with all of your other ingredients. Add some water and let it reduce for 30 minutes and enjoy with some hot jasmine rice, and this is so bomb.
Apple pie rings. These are so fun and simple. Take some apples and remove the core. Cut your apples in into rings, and then take a package of crescent roll dough and slice it into strips. Take your strips and wrap them around your apple rings until it looks like this. Combine some cinnamon and sugar in a bowl. Take your apple rings and coat them in the cinnamon sugar mixture, then bake them about 18 to 20 minutes. Once they're cool enough to handle, enjoy.
I am not ready to post Thanksgiving recipes yet, so I'm gonna show y'all how I make perfect wings every time. Even my dad approves. Hi, Dad. Let's roll the footage. So this is really easy. Just season the wings in a bowl. Make sure it's all coated. You don't really need any oil here because the chicken fat in the skin does that job for you. The crucial step though is to place them on a wire rack. Let them sit in the fridge uncovered for at least an hour before you bake them. This dries out the skin and they get super crispy. I baked these at like 350 for an hour, and now you can sauce however you like. Choose your own adventure. This is a tequila key lime sauce with butter, garlic, jalapenos, some agave for sweetness. You can use regular limes if you don't have key limes, a little cilantro, and I served this with creamy jalapeno ranch. Both of these recipes are on my Instagram.
Okay, let's do a very simple spatchcock turkey cook on the Traeger. Score some lines on each side of that breast and use those lines for your heavy-duty kitchen shears to get that spine out of there. Once that spine's removed, check that cavity, make sure there's nothing there. Take your chef's knife and score that breastbone, so when you flip it over, you'll be able to snap that bone and that turkey will lay flat. Cut any extra skin hanging. What I like to do is take the wing tips and tuck them behind the breast so they don't burn during the cook. Traeger fin and feather on both sides, nice and heavy. Then you're going to take your meter probe and install that at the deepest part of that breast, because that's where you're going to get your internal temp. 225 degrees on the Traeger till that internal temp reaches about 100 to 110 degrees. At that point, you're going to want to turn the Traeger up to 375 degrees, and then that's when you're going to see that skin get nice mahogany, nice and crispy. And once you get into that breast, this is going to be the juiciest turkey you've ever had right off your Traeger grill.